Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to work on my little paper bag journal some more. It's this one here that I started a while back. It was a Subway bag and I made it into a journal cover. We have the pretty little lady from Tim Holtz here and I decorated her up, colored her with the alcohol markers. And I'd never tried that before. I do have a very pale color on her face and everything, but you just can't tell. And then I did her lips and her cheeks and her flowers. But anyhow, let's get to the sneaky peek and then we'll get to the main attraction. We have, what do we have back in here now? I love this rug gripper paper. I just, I got to do some more of that. This here, I think I may have planned to make it into a belly band, though it isn't one. I just went ahead and glued it down. But I did make a collage out of it. And it's also considered a tab because this button goes out of it and the shank, I put a paper, not a paper clip, but a safety pin, one of the little Tim Holtz ones in it. And then I tied a ribbon. It could have been I could have just tied the ribbon and that would have done the trick. But anyhow, that's how I did that. And then I have a strip from the kit down here. I put a little bit more here to kind of blend it out. And let's see what else I've got. Oh, another pocket. I've got pockets galore, don't I? So this one does have some movable parts to it. Of course, we have the two tags. This one was from the kit, and I put something on the back side of it. I did a little bit of script stamp in the background, so you had a little bit more visual to look at. Now, this one, I took two pieces of the ephemera, and I did a little frame job with this kind of a basket weave kind of a paper I had. And then I used this kind of a beige brown background. And then you got that. You could still write on it or you could cover it some more. And that little tag is pretty tall. Then you get down to this one, which I have quite a few layers on. I got this real weird stuff I got from a kit long ago. And then I have a piece of paper behind it. Then I have this brown or maroon, I think it's maroon, that I actually sewed the ephemera piece to. So it's sewn with a zigzag all the way around the three sides, and then you can pull that out. It has a dangle on it, and adventure, and it's that same paper that was here. I was using up my paper, but I made a little pocket where it kind of hangs out beyond the book, so it's not binding. Well, I hope you got an idea from this. I know this would be something that could be made in many different types of journals, depending on the subject matter that you had and all those kind of things. Okay, I always love to give you ideas. All right, here we go. This one, I haven't done a flip through of it yet or anything like that. That's coming. But it was my little play journal. It's another one of my play journals. So I had this idea. I was laying in bed, really, really past the time period that I should have this morning. I fell asleep in my chair last night and I just fell asleep. And I mean, it was like I didn't get up until 9:30. But what it was is an idea for a woven pocket. So I've got all of these pieces here, as you can see, and I've got them already cut out. Now what I did is I started with this really large piece that I wanted to go across here. We're going to take some napkin and cover it, and then we're going to make a tag with another napkin I've got over here that's got a pretty little bird on it. Whoops. This one here. I love this little nuthatch, I believe he is. It calls it a Carolina wren, but we have it here and it's called a nuthatch. Then I'm going to use this on the background of the tag, so it'll blend in really nicely. All right, and then the napkin that I got for the actual strips are this. Now, as you can see, I didn't like where you can actually see through this paper. That was those Antiquarian pages by Carrie the Crafter, Ceri. And I tried this, and it was just so dark it came through. So that's what we're going to do to this page. We're going to change it and cover it so you don't see all that. And I thought this went really well with the color of the page here that I dyed. And then this page here that has some of those little flowers. So those are what we're going to do. Then how I did this, these were these scrap strips. And so I dropped one of them. That's what I was telling you, to keep all your little scraps where you cut around your, like especially your cardstock from when you're printing a digital and that kind of thing. Or this could be just scrap strips that you have from some cardstock. I would suggest cardstock for this, not regular copy paper weight. I don't think it would hold. Because we're actually making sort of a pocket out of this. So it's going to be very different. So what I did is I laid this first piece on here and I sketched with a pencil about where I wanted the cutoff pieces to be. And then I kind of did that for every one of them. So that one goes down there. And these 3 pieces are the large pieces. And then the other 3 are the small ones, which will be going this way. And I'm going to weave them in and out. I didn't want it to be totally covered, though you can still see some of that, but I don't think you'll really look at it later. So I'm still debating on what I might do there. I don't think there is much I can do there, tell you the truth. So we are using distraction for that page. What we are going to do is use a little bit of glue stick and the napkin to cover each one of these. Here's my glue stick. I use the Tombow glue that I get at Michael's. I really like it. It's kind of gooey and it really sticks well. So I've got a napkin here and I've had it for ages. I don't even remember where I got it. It was one of the first ones I had. Actually, this is all I've got left of that. I'll use this as a mop-up for when I do some mixed media. So I'll set that to the side. Tuck it down there. I do probably need to get another piece of this, because that one piece is not long enough, is it? I can do it at an angle. It doesn't matter what angle you go at for this. So let's go ahead and do the big one first. So make sure we get that done. I wanted to say how I really enjoy having you come to visit me today. I really appreciate it. I want you to get some ideas from me, whether they be from the sneaky peek. I usually have people enjoy the sneaky peeks more than they enjoy anything else that I show them. That's kind of crazy. Some of those are ideas I had from long ago. Some of them are more recent. So it's kind of hard to say, you know, when I come up with the idea. I do know I was more free in my ideas way back when, because I didn't have YouTube to worry with doing a video, you know, and figuring out content that I needed to do each day. I mean, doing a video or doing a YouTube channel does take a bit of your time. I like it because after I got over the stage fright part of it, I started to enjoy what I was doing. I enjoyed being able to talk to everyone each day, or whenever I would do a video. And I just, you know, I felt like I was helping you out by giving you ideas and telling you some crazy stories. I didn't start with the stories first out of the box. I don't even know what I was telling you way back then. Probably just going through my video and trying to be as professional as possible. Oh, well, you know. Okay, there's our first piece. Let's see what we can do with the rest of this. Yeah, it's always a learning curve whenever you have something like this. Let's see which one's bigger. I think this one is the bigger piece, so we'll go with that for here. And, oh, let me make sure that was this way and that one was that way. Okay. Make sure you got them turned in the right direction. But yeah, And I know you're always going to change your makeup or what you do. And I know there's a lot of you that like the genealogy part of my discussions and what I've figured out and where I'm going next and that kind of thing. So I like that I can kind of fill you in on some crazy hobbies of mine, which, you know, they're pretty interesting, I think, especially the genealogy. And I'm trying to get myself back into it without taking away too much of my time from my filming and coming up with journals and ideas for you. Now, today's story or person of interest is going to be my grandmother. My great grandmother. Sorry, it's Mom's grandmother. She's always calling her grandma, so I'm thinking, well, that's my grandma. So anyhow, she was a wonderful cook, and was always making some kind of food for somebody, or just, to feed her and the family. Can I get that? Can get that on there? Hey. So Mom was always telling me memories. She said that her grandma would never let her cook in the kitchen with her. That was her kitchen. She wouldn't let nobody else cook in there, even, my mom. Well, she was basically nothing but a farm worker anyway to Grandma. I mean, I don't really appreciate what she did to Mom. She could have at least showed her how to cook or something. Mom had to just watch. That was basically all she could do. Now I'm going to take this extra little piece, whoops, right here, and put it on this top part that I missed. Yeah, she didn't get a chance to do anything in the kitchen. She could only watch and remember. The mom's always had a really, really good memory. So I guess that's part of it. But she was saying that her grandma would always make jelly through the summer. And she would usually do grape and blackberry. Let me check. No, it was grape and strawberry. I should have known that. Anyhow, she said she would collect all the fruit, and she would wrap it up in cheesecloth. And then they had a spring house that had a spring that kind of ran through it. So they would put they put dripping bowls down below to catch the juice that may have come out. And then Mom's job was to go in there each night and to squeeze the bags to get more juice to come out. So that's kind of an interesting way to go about it. But we might get all this out of this one little piece. Look at that. Yeah, and then she remembers another time when her grandma would make yeast rolls. Now, when she would do the yeast rolls, she would put 2 packs of yeast in there. And she said they really, really rose up high. But what she would do is she would do the 2 packs, and then she'd put them behind the oven to raise, because it was really warm back there. And when they got up to a certain point, she'd stick or poke them and make them go back down again, and then she would let them raise again. To start out with, they were only like a little 1 or 1.5 inch size ball, Mom said. But after they'd rose, they were really pretty good size, and they were in a 9 by 12 pan. And Mom says she remembers taking them out of the pan one time, and they were really, really tall, which would seem kind of odd, for a yeast roll. But she was, great grandma was supposed to be a really, really good cook. At one time, she went up, after she had divorced her first husband, went up to New York, Manhattan, I believe somebody said, and got a job there as a cook. Now, from my time span that I've figured out, it could have only been a 1.5 to 2 year period kind of situation. So I cannot find that. Like, usually you can go and get these, they're called directories, where, it's like a phone book kind of deal. And you can look up and find out when somebody lived somewhere at a certain year. I cannot find it. Now, her second husband was Everett Hess. And he was actually from down here, really close to where she lived, out Greenville or Rafine, somewhere around in there is where they lived. Well, I don't know how she met him up there when they were both from down here, which was really odd to me. Was he stalking her? I don't know. I don't even know if he knew of her at that point. So am I doing this right? I got to make sure. I guess it doesn't matter either way, right? I think it may though with these two. Yeah. So okay, let me do it like that. So yeah, he met her and they came back down here to get married. I guess they had the spark for so long. You know how it is. And so yeah, they eventually got married. Now, get this. He had a double standard or something, because I was talking about in one of my previous videos here, the last few times, about Aunt Nellie, and she had married this guy from, he was a postmaster in Washington, D.C. He worked for the government and that kind of thing. And when Aunt Nellie would come in, he would never even get up and go out and say anything to her, because she had been married before and was divorced. Now, the other sister, now was a sister to great-grandma. So, and then there's another one, another of the sisters that was also treated that way, and that was Aunt Nanny. Okay, I've got my picked raspberry oxide and my cute little medicine bottle bouncer, plunger, whatever you call it, that Paper Crafting with Miss Tommy gave me. Thank you, Miss Tommy. But we're going to go around the outside of each one of these. So, Granddad Everett, as Mom always called him, he would also never speak to Aunt Nanny or get up and talk to her, go see her, whatever, because she had also married, she married a brother and divorced him, or they divorced each other, however you want to phrase that. Then she goes and marries his brother. How did I phrase that? Yeah, well, she marries one guy, divorces him, then marries his brother. Yeah, that's the way it should work. So, Granddad Everett was never a fan of that. I don't know why, but he was just not a fan of it. Now, I think it's a double standard, because look, he married a woman who was divorced. So, who is he to throw stones? I was saying that to Mom the other day. Like, how is he able to, like, be all uppity about all that? And then look what he did. I guess she was a good cook, or he saw something in her. I mean, they never had any children together, because he had never been married before. But, she had, and she had, like, 6 children. So, and, yeah, I don't understand what the story was there, that he was so against it. But Mom, she thought the world of all his, sisters and stuff. There was this one, Maddie, I think. Katie. Okay, yes. Aunt Katie. Yeah, Maddie was on another side of the family. So, Aunt Katie she worked at the school. She worked in the cafeteria. So what happened was she would get all this food and be able to just bring it home. And, whatever was left over, that kind of thing. So she had no use really for the money that she was paid. I mean, you know, she was married and her husband died early on. Now, see, this is one of those strips that I had from doing a few things in the Peacock Journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my regular wet glue and we're going to glue and fold this completely in half, because that'll make me a 6-inch tag. So yeah, Aunt Katie didn't have any use for her money. So what does she do? You know, she, she, she hides it in the kitchen. Okay, I'm going to do a little preliminary story here for you. Now, the reason Mom was living with Aunt Katie is Mom got rheumatic fever when she was 16, I think it was. Yeah, it was real close to 16. So anyhow, she went to live with Aunt Katie to recover. She had to take it easy, and I guess, you know, she couldn't do the farm labor for great grandma anymore. What, how sad. I'm gonna cut this down a little bit. I think it'll be right on the money after I do. But yeah, so she got to recover at Aunt Katie's. Aunt Katie fed her up well. I got a little bit right here. And yeah, so so the reason Mom knows about the money is because Aunt Katie's decorating the kitchen up with some wallpaper one day, and Mom finds out what they were doing. Aunt Katie's getting Mom to, you know, slather the, I don't want to lose my bird's butt, but that's probably going to be where I cut it off for a tag. Okay. I think we're good. So yeah, she has Mom make, you know, that you made paste from scratch back then. It was like a powder and you add water or something to it, I believe. I think that's how that worked. So anyhow, she has Mom take the paste, put it on the back of the wallpaper that was to go in the kitchen. Then Mom was to take the money, or, you know, maybe Aunt Katie did that part, took the money and lined it up bill by bill on the back of the wallpaper. Put a little bit more paste on it and then stuck that baby up on the wall. And oh my God, I could not believe that. I've never heard a story where somebody did that before. But what happened was, I'm trying to tilt this away where I can get my bird's tail and everything on there. But what happened was, this house, you know, after she passed, it went in somebody's hands. And then when I found out about this crazy story, I started trying to figure out, you know, who lived there and if I could go in there and ask them about it. And it had been renovated by somebody when they sold it. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I wonder if I can figure out whoever renovated it, if they found that money. But of course, you know, I think that was so far back. And I tried to get a hold of the realtor because there was a sign out front. And nobody would ever, you know, call me or anything like that. So, oh well. I never found out if the money was ever discovered. You know, in most cases, they just kind of destroy the house or whatever, you know. And, well, they didn't destroy the house. I mean, when they go to renovate, they really trash the kitchen kind of a deal. Oh, so I'm not so sure what happened. But oh my, I would love to have found out. So yeah, she thought a lot about Aunt Katie. Now, Aunt Katie lived in a haunted house. That was another thing. I remember her talking about it. I think that's the house where the ghost ran. It was a 2-story house, had a long stairway that came down and went right out the front door. That's the way it was situated. So the ghost runs through the top hallway of the house, down the stairs, and slams out the door. That's his MO. That's that's what he always did. So anyhow, I don't know if it was a certain time of the day or something instigated the situation. I don't know, but that was like one of the second. Sorry, I bumped the camera. That was one of the second houses that I know she lived at that had this type of a ghosty apparition that would come to call. Oh, crazy, crazy. Now I'm going to take my bundled sage there, and actually I got to find me a spouncer to use. So give me a second. Okay, and I'm going to snip. Can I round them? Let me see if I can round them. It'll make it so much easier to get into my pocket if I round it. Okay, so we have this that we're going to put on the back of here and colorize it. I don't know if it's dark enough to really help the sides on the front, but we'll find out. Yeah, we're just gonna put us some green back here. And I got something on my finger. Oh, I was putting away the other spouncers. I must have touched something with a little bit of maroon. So, yeah, the ghost house. Oh, yeah, the other one was where the breathing happened. Somebody had died in a room, and they would breathe when the light turned off. Yeah. Good stuff, right? Good stuff. Oh, it's kind of nice here today. I'm surprised. I usually talk about the weather. But, yeah, it said it was only going to be 65, but I swear it feels warmer. It's like, midsummer out there. But it snowed. 30 miles or less away from us, it snowed in 3 locations around me. And I was amazed about that. Okay, I don't think that's going to show, but I bet you some of this ground espresso will. I just want to edge the, oh yeah. You know, me and my grunge. I ordered scorched timber. I was bad. I did some shopping the other day. I have to show you when it comes in. And I got me some scorched timber, a pad with a refill, and I can use the refill for all kinds of other stuff. And then I ordered the one that they brought out of the vault. I can't remember what the name of it was. Okay, we're going to poke a hole in the top here. Can't remember the name of it, but it was one that had a Viewmaster reel on it. I think I was telling you about that the other day, because I'm just fascinated with a Viewmaster. And it had a what you call it? Now, I'm going to cut this to where I can pull it out the top here. But I got this really pretty, I think it's sari silk from Keong. My design team mama, Keong Shotwell. Yeah, she sent me some a while back, and it's beautiful. I try to use it when I can, but I'm kind of sparing with it, you know. All right, so I'm pulling it through there and pulling it through here. But yeah, it had a film strip in it, a slide, a piece of slide, and it had the Viewmaster piece. And then it had all these little squares. And those little squares you were to take and cut out parts and pieces and stuff to decorate inside of each one of the little areas like it was a picture. I loved it. Oh my God. And, you know, Viewmaster has great memories for me because we used to play with them when we were little. Okay, let me clear my desk off, and I've got to get the goodies up here. Okay, here we go. Let's start with the big one first. Now, I know this is not an original idea. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure this has been done quite a few times, but I just thought it would be a pretty look to go inside of my book here. Plus, it gave me a chance to talk to you. But, okay, I got the Viewfinder die cut set. I got that. And I had to cheat. I'm sorry I cheated, but I had to spend some money on that. I can consider it money that Mom gave me at Christmas. I can consider it that way. Okay, then I had to get that because it was sold out at Simon Says Stamps. I had to get it there. Now, I did go to Simon Says, and used my PayPal money, which is my coupon money. And I used that on a stamp set. What was it? It had a typewriter in it. I can't remember the name of it now. Good grief. But I just had to have it because of that typewriter. And it had so many other versatile things on it that I could use. And so I got that because I have a typewriter correspondence something kind of a journal that will come up sometime in the future. You know how it is me. Okay. And then while I was on there, I got a few of those mini magnets, the larger one, because I was telling you I started watching this lady, Spirit of Nature Art Journals, or is that how? The Spirit of Nature Art Journals. I guess that's the name of her place. But she did does these fold outs, you know, with flippy folds all over the place. And she did one with one of those Stamperia pads, Forest, I think. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. I got to do it. So we're going to do it. All right. This one, I believe, went down here. So we got to weave it. Oh, wrong way. I'm sure you were shouting at me, wrong way. So yeah, let's put it in first, and then we'll do each one of the pieces on the end here. So yeah, I got my scorched timber pad that same day, and I can't remember if I got anything else besides the magnets. I don't know. I can't remember. Well, that's okay. We'll know when it comes in. And then that, like I said, did get bought with, I'm putting me a little bead of glue without having to lift that up. There we go. But yeah, it was those three things that I got there. And, oh, I went to May Made It. Because she did a video. Oh, gosh, that's going to have to go up underneath of there. Rats. Well, maybe it's just going to go on top. That's all there is to it. But yeah, I went to May Made It because I saw one of their videos where they were advertising the new stuff that had came into the shop. Well, I was telling Mom how I wanted to get one of those stamp block pads, not block, the stamp pad, the Misty. I know you probably know what I'm talking about. So I've been wanting one of those because I wanted to try to do a few of the kind of techniques and things that I've seen Tim Holtz do. And you can't do that with some of these other pads. You just can't. I think this one is going to go on top. Oh, and that's going to go underneath, isn't it? I'm trying to follow along the rules of, you know, of weaving, you know. So I think, okay. So past this point, this is just going to get glue. All right. And then this point is getting glue. All right. So let me see. Let me see if I can get it up under there. And figure out where it needs to be. There we go. I think that's it. I'm trying to make sure it's kind of parallel with this one down below here as well. There. I think that's good. I really don't need to have anything go up underneath of these. So if it glues down a little bit up there, I'm fine with that. Okay. There's the overall look. Now, I did want to add a little zhuzh to it because it's got this sewing mannequin lady over here and a hat, and they're talking about French fashions and things like that. So I would like to put some lace on it. I'm trying not to do anything too thick because I'm trying to keep it thin because my book is getting kind of chunky, and I really haven't. I just got those little ribbons that are tying it shut, and I don't want to put too much strain on them. But anyway, here's the ribbon that I chose. It's like a crochet ribbon. It's very flat. I thought it was very pretty. And I thought I would put that along the edges of the big one. I know I'm going across some of the places that I have wove, but I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We are going to get in here. Let me lay that down so it can start draining. I need to fill that baby back up again. All right. And I'll trim the back or the bottom later. And then this piece is going to be tricky. Let me see if I can go ahead and cut it. Let's see if I got that in the right. Nope. Got to cut it a little bit more. Now, when I cut my first one up here, here and there, that big one, I kind of used that angle on the other ones that I went to cut. But it wasn't really that hard to lay it down there and get it to glue right. It wasn't. Now, that's an awful lot of coverage. Huh, do I want to do that? I kind of wanted to put it out, which I may just go ahead and do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it that way. That's much better. Let me just snip that. Get that out of the way. I didn't want to cover up that much of my napkin work. All right, let's put that one on there first. And I'm just going to put my fabric tack right along the edge. This might even strengthen my pocket. So that's a plus. All right, let's go ahead and go down here. It's almost like you could put a little ribbon through this one too. That little dotty dot that goes along the edge. That's kind of pretty. This is one of the ones I got from Hobby Lobby that time. And then we're just gonna push it down and get it to stay. Stay, boy, stay. Okay. Now we're going to do that on the top row. And yeah, so I got my Misty. That was the only thing I got at made it, but she let me use my PayPal money. So that means I didn't cheat there either. Overall, I don't think I cheated because the Misty was only 70 bucks. I've been wanting one, and it was a Christmas present. That's what Mom wanted to get me. And then she gives me 100 every year. I don't know why. I keep telling her to keep her money, but she gives me 100 every year. And then my birthday was in March, so she gave me more money. So I went ahead and got it. And I always try to find a way to pay her back. Half time I pay for her meals, maybe more than even half. And then if she needs money for anything else, I throw it at her because it's her money anyway. I was just holding it. This is the way I always feel. Okay, let's do our trimming. And, oops, I almost tried to cut the end of that off. Good grief. That might be little pieces I can keep for snippets or... Oh, I did cut that end off. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, and then this right here. Now, oh, I'm trimming everything up. It might be that I want to secure that a little bit more along the top here as well. Yeah. So it doesn't get all dangly and try to flip the other way when maybe you close the book, you know. Okay. Especially this one right here. This one needs it more than any of them. All right. Oh, yeah. I think I got a little bit more of a leak that came out than I wanted. So now I'm worried about it sticking right there. Oh, and I did get it on there. Crap. Repair work. So I know what I'm going to do with this. Maybe I can erase it. I know you can get those erasers that do it, but I don't see how this You know, this does it just as good. Yeah. Especially if you get it right away. Yeah. All right. I got crumbs everywhere now. All right. And we'll just make sure that we put something in there when we shut it. Like some extra packaging and stuff. All right. So the rest of this, all I got to do is put my tag in. There we go. Now, I wanted my little birdie to show, but he's not. It's crap. But you have different places on here that you can tuck it. Especially if you've got some little small items, you can tuck those down in here. You got where you can tuck something small up in there. But I like the idea of the little bird being in kind of like a trellis. He's in a trellis area. And then you've got your pretty tag top sticking out up here. Yeah, it'd be nice if the bird was... I didn't think it out, did I? I did not think it out. But you got the general idea. You can make it the way you need to. And, yeah, you'll probably think it out better than me. All right. I really appreciate you coming to visit. Thank you, thank you. I hope you got some ideas here for any of your spring journals. And you have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.